Welcome to the Fire Sprinkler Podcast with Chris and Logan. Introducing the Gast 120R 200 Series Dry and Pre-Action Sprinkler System Compressor. Gast offers several models, a convenient time-saving riser mount, a space-saving vertical tank-mounted design, and 4 models of air dryer compressor systems for refrigerated and high-humidity spaces. Included for dry and pre-action is a durable digital pressure switch. These compressors are UL listed for fire protection in the US and in Canada. Covering a wide range, 120R compressors are rated for 940-gallon systems at 40 psi and 2,259-gallon systems at 18 psi. See more at gastmfg.com.
Like and subscribe.
Hey everybody, thanks for tuning into this episode of the Fire Sprinkler Podcast. Kind of on a roll today, recording 2 in 1 day. This is awesome. On this episode, I have Bo Coffman from Gast Manufacturing. Bo, how's it going today?
Great, Chris. Happy to be your second podcast today.
Yeah, second best, right? Absolutely. Second, the best is the way we'll put it. Today, what we're going to be doing, because this is now moving into a lot of video stuff, is Bo and Sal from Gast Manufacturing have been wanting to do a tour of the of kind of the research and development setup that they have at Gast Manufacturing there in Michigan. With COVID, obviously, it's difficult for me to get across the border for a quick day trip. Which, as soon as things open back up, I'm coming to see you guys. You're not that far away. I'm coming.
Absolutely.
But until now, we do it virtually. Everybody's kind of adapted and rolled with the punches, so to speak. So here we go. What's kind of the overall? What are we trying to accomplish today?
Yeah, thanks, Chris. And you have become the master at the video podcast. So, like you said, we not only wanted to show you and your viewers an exciting new product that has been just launched last September. But we were able to do it in kind of this setting, and we thought, why not? Let's show a little bit to your viewers about our lab resources, what we have in our lab to performance test, sound test compressors, and take advantage of being able to show you a bit of that too, along with the product.
Absolutely. I appreciate the kind words. I'm only as good as the people that come on the podcast and talk sprinkler with me. So I can't take any of the credit. It goes to everybody that I have on, like guys like you that want to talk sprinkler. So right now, if you're listening here, I highly recommend going over to the YouTube channel, Fire Sprinkler Podcast YouTube channel, and watching this video. Right now, I'm standing with a exceptionally handsome Bo Coffman and a couple of air compressors. So what do you got? What are you standing with there right now?
You bet. You are too kind, Chris. So what we wanted to talk about and show you today is our new 120R 2 horsepower oilless rocking piston compressor. It kind of builds on the 87R half horse compressor that's been out for a couple years now. Hugely successful, has a ton of new innovative features that all was a result of feedback from the field. Contractors like yourself had a lot of input into that. You'll get another look at the 87R when we show our sound room and a bit more of our lab space. But we took that and scaled up into a powerful 2-horse compressor. What this does for us is, compared to other 2 horsepower compressors out there available, this is taking advantage of much longer life in our rocking piston design and much more compact size. Other 2 horsepower compressors would be a lot longer. Typically, they have to incorporate more than 2 cylinders, sometimes 4. So we wind up with a really compact design. And as you can see, we do this a variety of ways for the sprinkler industry. We took that compressor and did a kind of a single system riser mount configuration,
right?
Super compact. We also take it and put it on a 20-gallon tank system. I'll do a little walk around of these features. And then also, we've even got air dry technology. So we have air dryer systems using this 2 horsepower 120R. And we are showing that to the sprinkler industry now for some of those special applications like freezer rooms, or anytime someone wants to just have guaranteed super dry air and low condensate in their sprinkler system.
Absolutely. I've installed a couple air dryers like in my career when I was on the tools. And absolutely are great things to extend the life of the sprinkler system. You're not getting any of the moisture. And typically, if you're installing them according to NFPA 13, you're supposed to be pulling that cold air from the area that you're covering, putting it through the air compressor, and that's one way to reduce it. But an air dryer is another way to reduce it as well.
Yeah, exactly. And so we have that available. We thought we would also include that in our literature now for the sprinkler industry. So you'll see the dry air systems using this compressor in our dry sprinkler full line catalog now also. So if I may, let me take a step over here. I'll show you a little bit about this riser mount configuration first.
Yep.
And let me just quickly say, just as valuable, and this was feedback from the field, we did this with our 87R on the kind of documents that you get with the product. It would start with a thank you letter, thanking you for choosing Gast and this product, but also you got a direct dial phone number and email address for tech support and customer service from our dedicated dry sprinkler team here at Gast. So people are going to know they can get support right away if they need, immediately right out of the box. You'll get the O&M manual, more comprehensive, but what we have found, and it was really successful with the 87R, a quicker, simpler quick start guide, which will give you just a few steps on how to get this riser mount up on the system. We also did a how-to video, whether it's on the product, you can scan that QR code, or right here on the quick start guide as well, take you to a video if you wanted to see step-by-step this getting mounted on a riser pipe as well. And then some more quick start information on the tank unit. So right out of the box, we have some valuable tools that make it easier to get this installed. This is our riser mount system. I said this kind of builds on the 87R half horse. We incorporated a really innovative frame design and strong and stable channel strut mounting. All the contractors are going to be very familiar with channel strut, of course. They're going to know that hardware. It's in every valve room out there, and we've incorporated it into a quick, secure, stable mounting method for our compressors now.
Is that the similar, while I stop you there for a second, is that the similar supporting structure that you have on the 87R, where you put the unistrut or channel strut on the piping and then simply hang the compressor from it?
Yeah, exactly,
awesome.
Chris.
Okay.
Exactly. That's been so hugely successful, makes it so convenient. We wanted a riser mount here, and really a riser mount 2 horsepower powerful compressor is pretty unique. So you would mount this top rail only. It comes about 98% assembled from there. This is a 2-person lift, but you would lift it up onto this top rail, tighten all your hardware, put your back clamp on your bottom rail, and you're good to go. And you can get this mounted very quickly, very easily. We strength tested it to 4 times the weight of this actual system to make sure that this mounting method with channel strut was strong and secure. This is a 920 gallon system at 40 PSI. It's rated for over 2,000 gallons for the low pressure valves, the 18 to 20 PSI range. All can be covered with this system. We kind of say that this is ideal for a 1 system, 1 riser, 900 plus gallon type configuration. 2 gallon surge tank, avoids some short cycling. Everything you see here is included with it. All the mounting hardware, just like the 87R, you get your 24-inch 2-foot hose connector included with the product. We use our latest and greatest digital pressure switch and gauge, like we do on the 87R as well on this product. So it makes for a really compact design. We take that and we also put this compressor on our 20-gallon vertical tank. That was based on feedback from the field. 0 floor space on the riser mount. We wanted to have an improvement in floor space. Space is a premium now.
Absolutely.
In these valve rooms are getting smaller and smaller. A lot of horizontal tank configurations on a lot of compressors out there. Obviously, going vertical on this tank cuts that floor space virtually in half. So that was a nice feature. even in doing so, it brings the pressure switch and gauge up higher off the floor. It's a little bit more ergonomic to be able to check your pressure reading. We say this is ideal for maintaining even 3 or 4 900-gallon plus systems at that 40 psi. Again,
Right.
over 2,200 gallon rating for 18 to 20 psi for low pressure valve systems on here. Everything here on this, using this digital pressure switch, one difference with the half horse 87R, which doesn't, per NFPA 13, doesn't require to be used with an air maintenance device. It's below that 5.5 CFM at 10 PSI requirement. These are well above that requirement.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So you're going to be sending air from these downstream to an air maintenance device to set supervisory pressure.
Right.
So what we do on these digital pressure switches for these systems is we set it at a much higher cutoff pressure, 125 PSI gets stored in these tanks. And we don't even turn these back on until 50 or 75 PSI. That allows you to utilize a higher storage of compressed air at that high pressure, and it will result in this compressor cycling less, having to turn on less, and that increases life as well. So,
The big thing with the Gast air compressors was the sound. Where do
Yep.
these larger air compressors sit on the sound scale? The 87R was, it was
Super
a quiet
quiet.
air compressor. You could have a conversation while the thing's pumping a system up.
Yeah.
Where do these sit on that kind of scale?
So that's ideal in that size. These will be louder.
Sure.
This is a 2 horsepower compressor.
4 times the size.
Everything's bigger, right? Bigger
Yeah.
motor, bigger bearings. It's moving a lot more air. This one's going to be about 79 decibels on average. So not
That's
the
still
same,
not that bad.
not so bad. And
Yeah.
that's as a result of rocking piston technology. A lot of the ways this air moves in and out of these heads and valve designs, different than articulated piston compressors, lends itself to improve sound quality. So yeah, you're going to be about that sound level for this size compressor. Lastly, on the tank unit, kind of moving down to show you just some little features, but as a result of feedback from the field, this is how it would ship. This is the shipping skid.
Mhm.
We even say in this quick start guide, if you desire or are required to surface mount this to the floor, don't throw these shipping brackets away. We even point out that these can be reused to hard surface this to the floor if needed. If not, located inside these feet, already assembled, are nice wide rubber shock mounts that keep this nice and stable as well. All comes complete, already assembled on the unit. And then lastly, down here, feedback from the field. They were asking us, please use a high quality drain valve. So we have a nice high quality ball valve. It's even threaded end in case you want to send that drain line,
Pipe it to some,
you know,
pipe it to a
somewhere
drain.
else. So just a
Now-
lot of thoughtful features.
Do you guys have a requirement that it be floor mounted? Because if your air compressor is larger, higher pressure, not going to be walking away as much as it potentially could. But do you guys have the requirement that you floor mount it, or are your shock absorbers pretty good at making sure that that air compressor doesn't walk?
Good question. And no, we don't require it. We're just showing people that they have that option.
Right.
And those rubber shock mounts are really stable. This thing is not going to move around if you don't have to surface mount it. As long as we shipped it that way and had those brackets, we just wanted people to know, hey, you've got that option.
Right. Okay. Awesome.
Yep. Okay. Last thing I wanted to say about all this product, UL 1450 listed. UL listed for fire protection in US and Canada. So keep that in mind. These are ready to go. They come with about a 2-week lead time, and already hugely successful. This is about the most compact, versatile design you can get in that horsepower class and in that gallon rating class that we're serving with these.
What's the benefit of getting a UL listed air compressor for fire protection? Because I know NFPA doesn't have the requirement where an air maintenance device is required, but why?
Sure.
Why would I get that beefier, better air compressor?
Yeah, great question. We certainly would describe it as a best practice.
Right.
And while there's not an FM approval for just an air compressor, some people will say, I want an FM approved air compressor. And we clarify that. A lot of FM standards out there, but not for an air compressor. So we explain often, you can go with a UL listed air compressor. And one thing that UL did was they took all the components of a previous dedicated fire sprinkler equipment standard and they incorporated it inside UL 1450, which is the standard they do for air compressors and vacuum pumps. So when we as a air compressor manufacturer submit this to UL, we have to tell them, not only do we need this UL listed, we want it UL listed for fire protection equipment.
Right.
All that rigorous testing comes on board. For example, every component of this, digital pressure switch included, has to pass 100,000 cycles error-free, no failure.
How
all
many
of this,
cycles?
100,000 cycles without a failure.
Yeah.
Is an example of the rigorous test requirements you go
Right.
through with UL. Then when you say for fire protection, all of those results go under review to the fire protection group at UL before you're granted approval.
What
So just
if your system's cycling over 100,000 times, like, I mean, fix your system.
yeah,
You got bigger fish to
something's
fry.
wrong. And what it gives us and the industry is the confidence that these should last
Sure.
a lifetime if
Yeah.
properly maintained. So all this product, 87R half horse included, UL listed to all those requirements.
Right. So basically with the UL listing, you're getting a beefier, better quality pump than going to a Home Depot or a Canadian
Yeah.
Tire and getting one off the shelf.
Yeah, industrial grade, UL listed for fire protection. You stop at a hardware store for a compressor like the kind we would use in our garages. You're just you're not going to get that level of coverage or that level of life. And most AHJs now are really wanting and asking for
Sure. Yep.
best practice UL listed compressors.
Right. You're getting what you pay for.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. What else you guys got going on in the
Yeah.
research and development department? Give me a little
Yeah,
tour here. Let's
thanks.
see what you got.
Thanks. So let's head on over here and we'll show you a bit more
Okay.
about our lab space. It's very large. We have separate lab tech rooms. We have about 8 lab techs on staff.
Mhm.
I'm going to take you into our sound room
Sure.
for now. Sound so important, becoming more and more important even in this industry. We've
Yep.
talked a lot about the 87R, the half horse compressor. We've got one running right here. This is one of 2 sound rooms we have. This is our full size one, 10-foot ceilings. We can get lots of different kinds of product in here of varying sizes. Once those doors would close, we have a very low decibel reference point. Even the floor of this sound room is separated from the factory floor, and all the insulation is head to toe in this room.
Yeah, your sound quality, you got better sound dampening than I do in the studio here. Studio garage.
It's made to do it. And
Yeah.
not only of course do we test our own product, it allows us the capability to bring in competitive product, do the
Yep.
same benchmark testing to make sure that what we're coming up with is improving on design, adding features, giving the industry something better.
Moving forward with the industry.
Yeah. Here's the 87R. It's actually running right now.
It is?
And this is an example of how we would take all of our performance, electrical specs, testing, and sound measurements of obviously in this room. So we typically take about 4. This is a sound meter, sound sensor right here. We have 4 of them.
Mhm.
So we have multiple points measuring from a set distance, and it's doing that. And then when we head out, it's running now. It's being performance tested. This is Bill Kraft, one of our lab techs.
Hi, Bill.
And so this is just an example of some of the equipment that we're able to use. We have a power analyzer that's going to be telling us amps, watts, all the electrical power consumption of the electric motor. We have a data acquisition box. Obviously, we're measuring pressure and flow constantly, recording and storing all that data. And this is kind of the way it would look like on screen when all those electrical power measurements are being recorded, pressure, flow, amps, watts. So we're able to get very comprehensive sets of data as we test.
So do you test these compressors? How often are you testing the compressors? Are you testing every compressor, or are you testing new products? How often is the sound room getting used?
Good question. It's used often in design for new product development. That's the space we're in right now. What you're seeing is mostly the kind of lab work and testing validation that's done when we're designing and proving products.
Right.
Out on the production floor, there's end of line testing as well that would make sure that every compressor gets ran and hits minimum performance requirements. This is really comprehensive sets of data that we're able to compile here in this facility. Obviously, that's the sound room. So the last thing we just wanted to show you on screen was Bill flipped over to sound measurements, and we're able to, of course, take and record those. We also have vibration measuring accelerometers. We talk a lot about riser mount compressors and knowing and being concerned or wanting to know that it's not going to transfer a lot of vibration to the system.
That's one of the biggest complaints out there right now is it's not so much like, yes, the sound is one of those things that's going to hit to the customers like, oh, I can hear the air compressor kicking on every 2-3 hours in the middle of the night. It's waking up patients. It's doing this, it's doing that. But most of that sound is generated from the air compressor rattling along in that valve room.
Yeah, exactly. So, right, exactly. We've spent a lot of time on even the shock mount vibration isolators that are all standard part now of these designs, 87R, 120R, and we're able to measure that here, and we're able to measure it compared to the competition. That was one area where it was a big improvement in our design that we're bringing the industry. Thanks, Bill.
Thanks, Bill.
And then just thought I'd, pan through. We got a lot of space here. There's an endurance cell in there where things are being life tested 24/7. Back in this workbench area, you actually see a bunch of 120Rs in various states of disassembly as we check wear components, make sure everything's meeting spec. There's a riser mount frame right there. We have a thermotron, which gives us the ability to put products inside there, elevate temperature and humidity to a very high temperature or a very cold temperature as well, sub-zero, and send it through all those environmental paces to simulate real life conditions. On the other side of that wall, we actually have a full-size walk-in thermotron room as well, with all that same capability for larger systems. So yeah, just a chance to show you what we've got here, a little bit of our lab space and what we do to make sure all our products are really run through their paces. And just kind of ending up back where we started with the 120R compressor. So just to kind of bring it to a close, keep in mind, brand new, powerful 2-horse compressor done 3 different ways: riser mount, vertical tank, dry air systems, and it's all ready to go to the industry.
What's next for you guys? This is the research and development. So you got any teasers for me? What else you guys coming out with here shortly?
That's a great question.
Don't look at Sal. Don't look at Sal. Stay focused here. You give me all the trade secrets.
Let me give you a sneak peek. And what this little mention will circle back to is all the good questions on sound. On the 87R standard that people get, it's the quietest thing out there. But we've talked about this, and we've done a podcast with you on the Sound Shield, or the Sound Shield kit, retrofittable, that even drops that sound level of that 87R down by about 15% more, makes it super quiet for those nursing home, office building type applications. So stay tuned. We're actually working on Sound Shield technology for the larger 2-horse compressor. We just talked about that this is going to start at a higher sound level, being that it's much larger, but we hope that later this year we'll also have a Sound Shield sound reduction option for this guy as well.
Awesome. Bo, thanks for the tour of the research and development and the sneak peek of the stuff you guys have coming up here. Is there anything else you want to mention before we sign off?
That that was pretty much it. Happy to do it. Thanks so much for allowing us to do this with you, Chris, and give you and your audience a little peek at our testing resources in our lab.
Absolutely. Thanks for giving me the tour, and hopefully in the next couple months here, I can come over and see you guys face to face.
Oh, please. Like you said,
Absolutely.
you're close by when it's when you're able and when it's convenient. We'd love to have you.
Awesome. If somebody wants more information on the Gast product, where do they find it?
Yeah, please go to our website, Gast MFG, like manufacturing abbreviated, gastmfg.com. Right at that homepage, right in the middle of the new products banners, in the middle, you'll see the 87R. From that homepage, you can quick link to that page. And from there, you can get to the 120R page too, as well as all of our resources, our catalog, all our videos, all our tech data sheets. That would be the quickest way to get there.
Awesome. Thanks again, Bo. Always great talking to you guys.
Same. Thanks a lot, Chris.
Yeah.
Hey everyone, this episode of the Fire Sprinkler Podcast is done. If you liked this episode, leave a review, comment, or hop over to my social media pages and let me know. Just search Fire Sprinkler Podcast on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or LinkedIn. Don't forget to hashtag Fire Sprinkler Podcast and anything you think I should know about or see. If you have any suggestions for future episodes of the Fire Sprinkler Podcast, email info@firesprinklerpodcast.com. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time. Take care.